Sculpture at the Central Biennale show, curated by Cecilia Alemani. Of the 213 artists featured in what's called the Milk of Dreams, between 80 and 90% are female.
I wanted to give the stage and the platform to many amazing, wonderful artists who also happen to be women.
And why has it taken so long, do you think?
Because we still live in a very sexy society, and it's very, very hard to advance.
Advance is happening in Scotland's exhibition. This tapestry looks at slavery and the stories we're told. The artist, Alberta Whittle, is the first black woman to represent Scotland in Venice.
I think the world's more ready to accept women artists, possibly. Black women artists, I don't know. I'd like it if people weren't so scared to work with ideas of race or to kind of like open up these conversations.
But change is afoot here, certainly when it comes to whose art gets a place on the wall. Katie Razzle, BBC News, Venice.
That's it. Now on BBC One, time for the news where you are. Have a very good night.
Hello, good evening and welcome to BBC Newsline. A senior vet at the Department of Agriculture has been given one of the biggest ever settlements from an employment tribunal here. Tamara Bronkers sued her former employer, the Department of Agriculture, for constructive dismissal. She was awarded £1.25 million. The department apologised unreservedly to her. Our Agriculture and Environment correspondent Louise Cullen reports.
Tamara Bronkers is a whistleblower, a government vet with what an industrial tribunal called a distinguished career. She left it all behind after a year of trying to get her concerns about animal welfare and traceability acted on.
I was effectively not able to do my job the way it should be done. And that made me even fearful going into work at night, and I was having sleepless nights and like just worrying all the time.
It started with a process called deleted moves, where animals were bought by a dealer and sold on. But she found that move was sometimes deleted, even though the animals spent time on a farm that may not have been TB-free. And that, Dr. Bronkers believed, posed a threat to Northern Ireland's reputation for biosecurity.
If I can find the discrepancies, if a team from Europe or any other country that we're trying to set up trade agreements with, comes to investigate, they will find it too. To allow a select few to jeopardise our industry of beef and our beef traceability, I think is shameless.
She also found animal welfare concerns at Ballymena Market, where she gathered evidence of sheep kept overnight without water and food.
While we were taking account of everything that was happening and taking photographs, a double-decker lorry appeared and offloaded a big load of hill sheep, black-faced sheep, into the market in an uncleansed, undisinfected environment. And that to me sent alarm bells ringing, because foot and mouth in England started by allowing this to happen. Or it was a big factor in it anyway, in the spread of it. And I thought it was significant, alongside with the welfare issues that I had uncovered.
In a statement, management at Ballymena Livestock Market said, "We have zero tolerance when it comes to animal cruelty. When sales continue into the night and animals can't be moved, we make every effort to maintain high animal welfare standards." Dr. Bronkers had asked her line manager to act. He ignored her emails. Julian Henderson is now the temporary deputy to Chief Vet Robert Huey.
I don't feel much about that, but it doesn't surprise me, and in a way it reinforces what I was up against. It's a tight-knit club, possibly of men.
Did you feel that being a woman played a role in this?
I don't think that that was the reason why it all started, definitely not. But it was an inconvenience, yes.
Dr. Bronkers was described as astoundingly brave by her solicitor. Now the next chapter begins.
I am now going to relax.
Louise Cullen with that report. A man was threatened with being set on fire after he was kidnapped in County Down. The victim was abducted in Newcastle, where the police are also investigating an assault on a pensioner around the same time last night. Investigations have been taking place in Newcastle and Annalong today, as Kevin Sharkey now reports.
A man in his 70s was assaulted at his home here on King Street when his attacker tried but failed to get into his house. Separately, a man in his 40s was kidnapped around here. The police investigation continued into the early hours of the morning.
I woke up this morning about 10 to 2, there's an orange flashing light. I could hear a lorry, loud lorry, and I looked out the window and seen a recovery truck. And it went on for about there was police around, it went on for about an hour and a half. Maybe more. I went back to bed. Like the truck went away, and the police were still here up till about, I don't know, maybe 3 in the morning.
The man who was kidnapped on this street was taken to a car park outside Annalong, about 6 miles away. This car park on the Old Town Road in the foothills of the Mournes is now a crime scene, and the police are still here. The people who brought the man to this car park last night demanded money. They doused him in fuel and threatened to set him on fire. The man wasn't hurt, but the police say he was very shaken by the ordeal. Detectives are now questioning 2 men aged 36 and 31. Kevin Sharkey, BBC Newsline in Annalong.
2 boys aged 11 and 15 have appeared in court charged in connection with an attack on a church in County Londonderry at the weekend. The Church of Our Lady of the Assumption in Macrofelt had a number of items damaged, including Bibles, holy books and candles. A police officer told the court the damage was estimated to be about £1,000. Now, councils, the housing executive and some schools face around 2 weeks of disruption because of strike action by the Unite union. Bus services were due to be suspended, but TransLink will run as normal after drivers decided last week to postpone a possible walkout. Kelly Bonner has the details.
Workers were on the picket line again today. The dispute over pay has seen union members walk out, withdrawing their labour and disrupting services. Last month, Unite members took strike action after they were offered a pay rise of 1.75%. The union called that a real terms pay cut. For those on the picket line today, the main issue was the cost of living.
Well, I'm striking just to get a pay rise for everyone, not just for myself. And because everything's so expensive, it's hard to live at the moment. Because I was in the shop today and the price is unbelievable. And the oil prices are for 900, I think it's 740 at the minute. It's swanged, so it is, and petrol as well. It's hard to put diesel on your car.
12 years of pay cuts, the cost of living is through the roof, and these people on this picket line and people that I represent and work with, we have families, and the cost of living, we've got to meet that. We've got household bills to pay for. Everything's going up, food's going up, everything's going up, and yet their wages can't cope to pay for those household bills, so their families then start taking on that burden as well.
So what will it mean for services? Bin collections and street cleaning may be affected in your area. Also, the operation of venues like play centres, sports pitches and public toilets could be closed on days during the strike action. From tomorrow, some yellow bus services which take pupils to school will not operate for 2 weeks. However, school bus services operated by TransLink will run as normal. Some special schools will also face disruption as some non-teaching staff, including classroom assistants, will be on strike. The strikes are expected to continue until May the 15th. Kelly Bonner, BBC Newsline, Belfast.
A legal challenge to the Northern Ireland Protocol can proceed to the UK Supreme Court. That's according to senior judges in Belfast today. The group of unionist politicians were granted permission to appeal a previous ruling that said post-Brexit trading rules were lawful. 3 legal points were identified for consideration by the UK's highest court in the ongoing campaign, being mounted by TV leader Jim Allister, Baroness Hui and Ben Habib. Now, after a good spell of weather, let's get the forecast for the rest of the week. Here's Barra.
Hello, good evening. It has been a dry start to the week. It stays dry this evening and overnight with no rain in the forecast in the coming days. A cold night to come with clear skies, temperatures in some rural spots down into the low single figures. But with clear sky around for many, it'll be a bright start tomorrow morning with some sunshine. Eventually, though, bits and pieces of cloud will gather through the day, but the winds will be light tomorrow. A fine start then, some early morning sunshine, and if you're travelling tomorrow, a largely dry picture across Ireland and the UK. As the day gets going, though, a few scattered showers dotted around in parts of the Republic. Could be on the sharp side, but they'll be hit and miss, not for everyone. And for Northern Ireland tomorrow afternoon, a dry picture. Temperatures in the west 14 or 15 degrees with the sunny spells. A little cooler around the coast with some cloudy conditions being brought in by an easterly wind. Dry though tomorrow evening, overnight too, with some clear skies again. It's going to be a cold night, temperatures for some dipping into the low single figures, especially in rural spots, but most towns and cities 4 or 5 degrees. As for Wednesday, a dry picture, a bright start to begin with across Ireland. Cloudy conditions though push in, with sunny spells across the UK and Ireland through the afternoon. For us into Wednesday, a fairly bright start with some sunshine. The winds will be light. Cloudy conditions will begin to develop as the day goes on. Temperatures still reaching around 13 to 14 degrees, a little bit cooler towards the north and the west. And the dry conditions continue on Thursday and Friday, but it does look as though we will get a little bit of rain heading this way on Saturday.
Not a bad few days ahead. Well, that's your local news. Sarah's here with your next news in Breakfast Tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
This is BBC One Northern Ireland. Now a party election broadcast by the Democratic Unionist Party.
I love Northern Ireland. I love its people. I love getting outdoors and enjoying the mountains. This is a great place to live, work and raise our families. But it can be even better. Our future is bright because our parents and grandparents believed in Northern Ireland and in the Union. It is Northern Ireland's strong place in the Union that has created jobs, improved our standard of living and given us our National Health Service. Over the last 5 years, with your support, the DUP has fought for and delivered more for health services, greater investment in infrastructure, more jobs and improvements to education. I have a 5-point plan to build a better future for Northern Ireland within the Union by boosting our National Health Service with an extra £1 billion, getting our waiting times under control and training more GPs. Our plan will grow the economy and help create 20,000 new jobs to keep our young people at home. I understand the struggles of childcare. That's why our plan will deliver 30 hours free childcare each week for parents and tackle the cost of living crisis. And far from protecting political stability in Northern Ireland, the protocol remains a threat to our place within the United Kingdom.